the last video, I talked about the correlation between nostalgia and the release of dopamine in the brain. For that reason, I decided to make dopamine the topic of this video. So here is dopamine simplified. Belonging to the family of catecholamines, dopamine is a neurotransmitter which is produced by substantia nigra, ventral tegmental area or VTA, and hypothalamus of the brain. It comes from one of the 20 naturally occurring amino acids called tyrosine. Tyrosine is converted to dopa, which is a precursor molecule that is later converted to dopamine. Our nervous system makes use of dopamine to send messages between the nerve cells, hence the name neurotransmitter. It's used in the reward pathway, which motivates us to engage in activities that make us happy or feel good. It is commonly released when we engage in activities like eating, exercising, drinking, playing video games, and so on. When you start associating a certain activity with pleasure, mere anticipation of that activity could potentially lead to a rise in your dopamine levels. For example, if you love chocolate cakes and you plan to treat yourself by the end of the day, then the anticipation of that alone could increase your dopamine levels in the body. A common misconception is that dopamine causes addiction, but it is much more complicated than that. While it remains true that too much or too little of dopamine can cause health complications, saying that dopamine is the root cause of addiction is completely wrong. Dopamine is involved in learning, motivation, heart rate, sleep, mood, attention, lactation. The list goes on. Now that it is established that dopamine performs a vast array of roles, it's important to understand the complications associated with too much or too little of dopamine in the body. Using drugs, for example, can cause a significant quick release of dopamine in the brain. This satisfies the natural reward system, but it also reduces the natural production of dopamine in the body. Repeated use increases tolerance, which increases the threshold level for achieving the same pleasure or the same high. So, a person addicted to drugs will need higher quantities every time to experience the same effects as he did initially. Inability to satisfy the addiction will lead to withdrawal symptoms, which include anxiety, irritability, agitation, sleep disturbance, etc. Keep in mind though, dopamine acts as a motivator and you cannot get addicted to it. It is the activity which causes a surge of dopamine that you could get addicted to. Nevertheless, you could naturally increase dopamine levels in your body by getting enough sleep, maintaining a healthy diet, meditating, and exercising. Dopamine is also known to play a role in medical conditions like Parkinson's disease and schizophrenia. Wait, maybe schizophrenia would make a great topic for the next video. Anyway, we can learn two things from this video. Number one, too much or too little of anything is bad. And number two, don't do drugs.